Hey, I want you to watch THS Wrestling. And if you don't do it, you're a bunch of geeks, jerks, overbearing, egg-sucking dogs.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to That Wrestling Show. I am Neeson. Of course, I am not Pingle. He is off on a special assignment, as the WWE would say. But I am joined by an amazing first-timer to That Wrestling Show, an amazing TV and film producer. She's the host for United Wrestling Network, which is sorry, I had to get this right. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which, by the way, shout out the Captain Party. Also a host for Women's Wrestling Talk and Pro Wrestling Pets, Emily May. Guys, give a round of applause. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Hi. Yeah.
I hear the cheers. Hi. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Matthew in the chat. What's up, party people? Matthew is a regular. Yeah. And isn't this where Brett, aren't you the same place where Ricochet is from? Is that the same place? Isn't Ricochet from there? But we have a great week of wrestling. Pingle is here. See, I am substituting for Pingle because he is on a special assignment. Guys, we are vaxxed and waxed, and we are out there to the max. That is what's going on right now.
I feel like y'all are partying. You're like going out. You're all vaxxed and
we're partying hard still via remote.
Well, hopefully we'll have a good time tonight. You know, during this show, we're gonna party it up.
It'll be a great time. We'll have a run in. Okay, Matthew's talking about the Lakers. Look, he's starting it off hot.
What's going on?
Matthew is starting it off about the Lakers hot. Okay, look, we're not going to get into the NBA right now. We're not going to get into the Lakers.
I can get into Dodgers right now too, and I won't.
We're definitely not getting into Dodgers right now. Matthew will let you have that as well. We have a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about Double or Nothing. We're going to run down the card. We're later going to have a run-in with the chair. Just picture Bernie Sanders running in with the chair, but instead of Bernie Sanders, it will be the Wrestling Classic. Justin, friend of the show, will be joining us.
Do you have your mittens ready? Are you good?
I have my mittens ready. But it's just if Justin has his mittens ready. And I don't know how he's gonna hold the chair with the mittens. That's a whole nother,
I know that's a whole thing. We're gonna have to work that out.
Ultimate Warrior, yes, the Ultimate Warrior AEW documentary comes out tonight. It should come out, I think, like right now or in an hour or so.
I'm gonna have to catch up on that. That's one that they've all been really good, but that one I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one because look, we could talk about Macho Man's one. It was a lot of give and take on that one. Once Justin comes in, I know he's gonna. Charlie said he just watched it. Charlie, let us know what you thought of the Ultimate Warrior doc.
Review.
Yeah, the Shawn Michaels one I thought was incredible. I actually liked the Macho Man one. It was great. Yeah, I thought it was great, man. Yeah. I would ask Charlie this before we get into the AEW's rundown. Charlie, was it? Wait, he said it was on 2 hours ago here. Okay, cool. So, Charlie, was it a feel-good documentary, or did they get into the dark things like they got into the Macho Man? And speaking of Macho Man, the man himself comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of the Wrestling Classic, the host of Casual Conversations, and he's just the overall great guy and probably the biggest Macho Man fan I know. Justin, aka the Wrestling Classic.
Thank you for having me. I feel like I should have worn Macho Man clothes, but this is the only week that I knew Pingle wasn't gonna be on here, so I could wear the Undertaker. So I came Undertaker out to see a show to chalk line. But what's up? What's going on, guys?
Hey, we should have coordinated outfits. I would have
worn.
We
should have.
Yeah.
Are you an Undertaker fan?
Oh my god, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Idol, inspiration right there.
Well, Justin, one, Pingle, you just missed a great Undertaker episode. Sorry. We got 2 Undertaker fans on here. Second, Justin, Charlie said that the Warrior doc, it was a feel-good documentary that AEW did. It wasn't like the Hogan one. He said he's a Hulk Hogan fan. God, Charlie, I was with you until you said you're a Hulk Hogan fan. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's get into the AEW rundown of Double or Nothing, man. It's going to be a big show. A lot of surprises maybe. And let's just start off with the top of that. We have a ladder. We have the Sakino, I can't speak. The ladder match, guys. And this is when always it's a wild card that is drawn and some surprises happen. I think last year was it Brian Cage, correct?
Yeah. Brian
So
Cage
now,
surprise, got the big poker chip.
right. I want to ask Emily, do you think, and I'm just coming out the gates with it.
Oh God.
Do you think this is going to be Daniel Bryan or Samoa Joe?
What? Oh my goodness. What do you mean?
As the wild card, as the wild card, the surprise entrance that they have every year. I think first it was Brian Cage.
It was
and then it was was it Mox? It wasn't Mox. Mox came out at the end.
Yeah.
Who won the chip?
This is only the second casino battle ladder match. The first one was Brian Cage. They had the battle royals in the past with the
it was I'm thinking of the Sonic Ring. That's right.
So they had the
Sonic
battle
ring.
royals in the past where it was Hangman and stuff. But this is the second ladder match with the wild card.
Right, the second one. So
I'm kind of with Charlie in the chat with Samoa Joe, because I feel like he's not only he wanted to kind of get away from commentary and kind of get back into the ring and so I think we're gonna have a surprise. I mean, if I had to choose, I think it would be him.
Oh, okay. So Justin, I will pose to you: do you, 1, think we are gonna get a surprise, or 2, if we do get a surprise, is it Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, or any of the recent people that got
I mean,
released?
if you're throwing it out there, you're giving us 2 options. It could be
I would be excited if it was either one of those people for sure, especially Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan, because I said myself in the TWC show, I don't see Daniel Bryan as a WWE guy. He's always been Daniel Bryan, who's in the WWE, who was an independent legend, the American Dragon. But I don't know. Joe's a good one too, but does Joe have to still wait? Is he still waiting 90 days?
Oh, is it past the 90 days? I don't know. But not everyone has a 90-day clause.
Mhm.
So
how about a guy like Andrade?
That's what Ken in the chat said. Ken in the chat said, what about Andrade? I think that'd be a great way to possibly build an angle towards the Triple Mania that is happening August 14th. Guys, that is crazy that they're moving it up to August 14th. So yeah, that'll be interesting. So going from that, so we're saying Andrade, and then did you say Daniel Bryan?
It's either Bryan, Andrade, and Samoa Joe, the top 3 we're thinking right now.
You think so? Yeah.
Is there anybody else? I don't think so.
See, that's the thing.
Can all 3 of them? Can all 3 of them come out?
I think it's possible, right? I think that's the thing with AEW and them setting up such high expectations, right? We're oh, it has to be a surprise. I mean, Brian Cage came out, we were just okay. I remember when it happened, we are just it could have been CM Punk. Everybody's
I think we predicted Brian. I think Ethan Page was a little bit for the brass ring one. It was Ethan Page, and we're oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think both. I remember Brian Page. We're I mean, yeah, but it wasn't the surprise. Same thing with Christian, being top future Hall of Famer. And it was no disrespect to Christian, but that's not who anybody predicted.
Yeah.
So AEW is notorious for having these big lead ups, right? And these big reveals, right? Because they have the ability to do that. Do you feel like most of these reveals that have happened in this last year have paid off?
I mean,
Justin.
They dropped the ball with Brian Cage ever since his match. I think it was with Cody or Mox. He had the match with Mox. After that, nothing's really clicked to that extent. Yeah. And Christian, he's here. He's having matches against guys like Kazarian and Matt Sydal, which are good matches, but does it really feel any special that he's here now? it's nice to see him wrestle again. So I think no. I think to your point, I don't think a lot of them have paid off. So yeah, Ethan Page we thought was gonna come here and be this big singles guy in the mid card. He just left being in a tag team in Impact Wrestling with the North, and he comes back here and he's in a tag team with Scorpio Sky, and he's a tag team guy again. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I don't think they have paid off, but I do think they've done what they needed to do to keep AEW in people's mouths.
Exactly.
And I think that's what the main thing they're trying to do. I mean, from Big Show to Christian to Brian Cage to Miro, Ethan Page, like those are and Lance Archer. I feel like really Lance Archer is the biggest like letdown, honestly, because he was coming off such a hot run in the G1 that it was like, oh, he's in American TV now, and he let down. But speaking of Brian Cage, let's talk about the first match that we're going to talk about. We don't have an order yet because, of course, they don't put out the order. Adam Page versus Brian Cage. That didn't mean it to rhyme, but guys, that's the way it's set up.
I feel like there needs to be shirts that have
It really does. I would just pose it to both of you guys. Are you interested in this feud? Are you interested in this match? And why is the FTW title not on the line?
I'll go first for this one just because I do have two things to say about it. One, this does kind of feel like one of those matches that they threw together last minute, which I feel that way about a few of the matches on this card. I didn't realize that Double or Nothing was next week, so I'm like, oh, a lot of these matches did feel last minute. Hangman Page has kind of been directionless for a bit now. Yeah, he was picking up wins to build up that win streak and whatnot, but is he with the Dark Order? Is he not with the Dark Order? Is Team Taz feuding with the Dark Order? I don't know. I think it'll be a good match. It's two high-level mid-card guys at the moment. I think both of them can be top main event guys, but you know what I mean? They're facing each other, so like let's hope that delivers. Why the FTW title is not on the line? I think the FTW title, Hangman Page holding the FTW title for a time would have been great. Because if someone's so FTW attitude with his drinking and just chilling, it's Hangman Page. There's merit to that there. And maybe hopefully in this next week of Dynamite, he's like, no, why can't I wrestle for that belt? Let me just do it. And we can have that happen. That would be great because we do have one more Dynamite to get through. Because that is one of the few hills, there's a few of them, that I will die on when it comes to AEW, is that FTW title could be another title that the wrestlers could be fighting for, whether it's defended under special rules, strong style, hardcore. Like that could just be like a special title that they could have in their roster. And it could be defended. And I've said that a bazillion times, and I'm going to stick with that.
Okay.
I definitely agree that it should be on the line. I feel like it would kind of elevate these matches, and like you were kind of calling them kind of mid-card competitors, and they're kind of like at that spot right now. So maybe that will elevate this moment for them by having that on the line. I feel like Hangman Page is at this point right now where he has a lot to prove in order to keep him at a place where he can continue to fight and show that he's like the top of the roster and like the singles rankings. So, there's going to be, I think there's a lot, it's Double or Nothing. It's a lot on the line for them to prove that they can continue to be really dynamic, get it, on Dynamite.
Look at that. Page and Cage. Dynamic on Dynamite.
Dynamic Dynamite.
We're making shirts out here, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get some merch going.
Right. I think it's like Ken said in the chat, any question, did Cage has never defended the title in AEW? And I don't think so. Like, not to my recollection. I don't remember them putting on and Taz has said it's a legitimate title, but it has not been defended, and under no different. I love your idea, Justin, of just having it have a different set of rules. Have it be their hardcore title. Have it be just a different type of title, and it also gives the mid card something to fight for. Yeah. And
have different stipulations, because it's AEW, you can make your own ground rules. You can change it up. So do that and make it so it's like you have these challenges that you got to work for, and
they have such a strong mid card. They have such a strong mid card.
But make it a tournament. Make it get all the talent that we consider mid card. I kind of hate that term because it makes people feel like it would make me feel bad. So I try to not use that term. But they're there to like their rate. The way I think about it is that they're moving through the roster, right? They're on their way to the top. So you have to, it's like any ladder. You have to like step on every rung to get to where you need to be. You need to get to the top. So it could be interesting to kind of have that, build that momentum with that title.
And I know we're talking about mid cards and them having a strong mid card, and I think that's a perfect segue to go to such a strong puncher that he made Austin Gunn bleed out his mouth on Wednesday. We got Anthony Ogogo in the factory versus Cody Rhodes with Arn in his corner. Look, I'm gonna just be honest. I am nowhere near interested in this match. It turns me all the way off just how they jump started it. But they made Anthony Ogogo look like a monster with those punches on Wednesday. So first, Emily, I will ask you, are you invested into Anthony Ogogo, and do you see him moving forward after Cody being a big time player in AEW?
So I think that this is his chance to prove that he's here to stay, right? He's working with Cody Rhodes. Like you can't, it doesn't get better than that. So this is his moment to shine. And so when I'm watching Double or Nothing, I want to see everything on the line. So he needs,
I'm laughing at the flag.
I was like,
just make it a flag match, guys.
I said that they should just make it a flag match.
Like I get like you're not like invested in it yet. So why are you not invested in it? So you have to make the audience be invested in it. I know there was like all these promos and, he's gonna, like Cody Rhodes is like taking on the American Dream for that match. Like so there's the history, the legend of it. Right. So you're bringing that into the match, but what is Anthony going to bring to it? And so that's his opportunity. So I want to see it. So I'll believe it when I see it, and I want to see it.
Well, Justin, I would ask you being, from Canada, you're right in between all this.
You're part of the Commonwealth.
You're
part of America.
So I would ask you, and I'm gonna definitely toss this question.
I don't know what side to pick. Like, we're part of the Commonwealth. I love America. We're next to neighbors.
Are you
torn?
Do
I vote for America? Do I vote for the UK? This whole foreign feud, America versus the world, it's outdated. It's old.
It is every storyline. When you go back into the history of wrestling, it is every storyline.
It doesn't work no more. I don't think it works anymore, and I think in a world where everyone's looking for peace.
In a world.
Yeah.
In a world where we have wrestling.
Also, like, you're fighting a guy from the UK who's in a faction with a bunch of guys from the United States. Where is this beef? If he was in a group with a bunch of guys from the UK, sure. I think it should have nothing to do with America versus the UK. I think you get a beautiful story already there from teacher to student, because Anthony Ogogo is from the Nightmare Factory. Yes, they split, but now Anthony Ogogo wants to show Cody why he chose QT over him, because I think I'm better than you. That's your story. It was right there in front of you. I think I can knock out Cody Rhodes. I thought he was pompous. I thought he was higher on himself. Even though he was my teacher, I never respected him. Boom, that's your story. It didn't need to be a flag match. It didn't need to be UK versus America. I love that. I love the concept of using the American Dream name. I don't know if this was the storyline for that. Could he use it in the future? Hell, honestly, this could have worked better if he fought someone like Miro. But like, and this
I know, but they've done that before too. Like they did that in WWE, right? So it's like, how do you make it fresh and new? I love this idea of like using the history of the name, because that's super important. But did they use it just because they had this storyline?
To your point, I think he had the idea of using the name, and then they built the story around that. Like, I want to use the American Dream. What can the storyline be? He's from the UK. Okay. That's what I felt like it came off as. And then obviously he gave that very tone deaf promo and et cetera, et cetera.
Is it like that big of a deal at this point? It's like,
I don't. last
you
thing
mean the name? I'm sorry, just clarify. You mean is that big of a deal for the name using American Dream?
No, I meant like the rivalries of the two countries.
Right.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Both of those are no big deals.
As far as Anthony Ogogo goes, I had to go out of my way, like literally go out of my way and put some time aside to go watch Elevation and Dark to find out who Anthony Ogogo is. Besides the 2 times he punched someone in the stomach on Dynamite, we've learned nothing about him. And I watched those shows and I saw him actually cut these promos. So now I kind of get what he's about. You guys, if you want to know who Anthony Ogogo is, go watch Elevation or Dark.
Because he's only had like a few matches, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to get reacquainted with him.
This needs to be early in the show, I'm guessing, because this needs to be Anthony Ogogo's breakout moment. And he has to go over, doesn't he? Because like if I'll give Cody the credit of trying to build new stars. I know we don't like the word mid card, but I think the mid card is like the next tier right to the top of the card, and I think they're building more talent for that thing as they send more people upwards. So like if Anthony Ogogo is one of those guys you guys see a bright future in, sure, but like I think Neeson kind of said maybe, or you might have said, this is sink or swim for him. Like he needs to show up at Double or Nothing, and this needs to be the match that makes Anthony Ogogo the breakout star. Because similar to how I felt about Bianca prior to WrestleMania, I didn't watch Bianca a lot on NXT. I saw her in a couple Battle Royals. I saw her in the Royal Rumble. I liked her, but I didn't know how I really felt about Bianca until the WrestleMania match. And then I was like,
you're a terrible person, Justin.
I'm shaming
you're
you
a terrible
right
person.
I can sit and pretend I watched NXT all the time for the past.
Bianca's the strongest, the fastest, the toughest, the quickest. Okay,
but to that point, at WrestleMania, I learned that and I saw it firsthand. I'm like, oh, she is the real deal.
I watched
you need that same feeling about Anthony Ogogo in this match. At the end of it, we're like, oh, he is legit. He can actually go.
I agree, and I do hope that that's what we get from Anthony Ogogo. But speaking about Bianca Belair like that, come on, man. You also the reason why she looked amazing also at WrestleMania. You know why?
The boss, the blueprint, the standard, the GOAT, the queen of the cell, the draw, the DDT and Boba Fett Mandalorian, Sasha Banks.
I know,
man.
I know. That's both of our favorite. I know.
Come on.
I just it opened my eyes. I think that's what we need with Bianca. So I mean that's what we need with Anthony Ogogo. Got Bianca on the mind now. This is what happened.
I know. Bianca's on the mind. When is she not on the mind?
hey, you're
Montez.
Montez. You know, I know we're talking about mid cards a lot, and we're talking about and how AEW has a strong mid card. Look, they have another strong mid card match on here, and which is Miro versus Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. I think also shout out to you guys in the comments. I'm flying them up, but we're not able to read them because we're having such great conversation. Lickety Split is saying that Anthony Ogogo is legit. We got flags in the comment. We got fire. We got all the where are you from? Where are you watching? I just put your nation's flag up on there. Just
you guys are distracting me with all the flags.
Blast the chat with the flag.
This is a very international episode of this.
I love it. Keeping it global.
But yes, we have Miro versus Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. Miro just beating the dog shit out of Darby Allin after Darby Allin a week before almost got murdered being thrown down concrete steps. Guys, is this Miro's time to really solidify himself? Or are we just seeing a potato hotshot title switch because Lance Archer hasn't won anything yet, guys? So I would ask that question to both of you guys, and I will let Justin. No.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go first.
Go ahead. I don't even know what I want to say, so go ahead.
Miro just captured the title, so like you can't. I don't think it's a great idea. Like he needs to really fight for this title. He needs to solidify that he is gonna retain and hold on to this. And this is the first person. Lance Archer's confronting him. This is the first person that's gonna confront Miro and challenge him. So I get it. There could be like a quick title change, but I don't think there should be. I think he needs to solidify his place with this title over the summer and into the fall. Like he needs time to really make this to shine and show that like he's bigger than what people used to know him as.
Justin.
We've seen him play video games. We've seen him wear Mickey Mouse shirts. We've seen him hang out with
Wait, is he going to come out
Gucci Mickey Mouse shirts?
Wait,
Guys. Those were Gucci.
Okay.
I'm not a fashionista. I don't know whether you should.
Sorry.
I know they're Gucci. I'm just messing around. But like,
yeah, I know.
We've seen him hang out with Kip and Penelope. You know, and that's all. It's all been fun. It's all been fun. Don't get me wrong. But we've been waiting for this Miro. We've been waiting for like the serious badass ass kissing, kicking Miro.
Yeah,
and like we're finally here, right? We finally got it. He beat up Darby, and personally, I'm a big Darby fan. I was getting kind of tired of the reign. He was having a lot of matches that really, he had like a different storyline every week, and it started getting confusing. But cool. We got off Darby. We got on Miro. We haven't had a heel have a strong run with this belt yet. Brody only had it for a couple of weeks, right? It was Cody, Brody, then Darby. Let a heel run with this belt for a bit. And I feel like we're telling a story with Lance Archer where he's realizing that maybe he's not living up to his fullest potential. That's what we've been, Sting's been saying it to him. We need Lance Archer to fall a little bit more. We need him to fail a little bit more. We need him to get angry. We need the murder hawk to come out of him.
You need that catalyst. Lance Archer needs that catalyst. He needs to fall down, and then you get back up and you get back stronger and you learn, like, here's the 10 things I need to do to get to where that person is, or to like outdo that person. So this is a chance, like, yeah, he's going to fight really hard. But I think you're right. I love that Miro's this like dominant heel. And I think it's time for that title to really shine with that type of person. And
he's dominant enough to beat Lance Archer, and it's believable.
Yeah, totally.
I just want to say shout out to the birthday man himself, Jimmy V, in the chat right now. He's drunk, drinking around Epcot right now with a bunch of wrestlers in Orlando. Shout out to Jimmy. I think it's interesting that you guys said that, because I didn't really look at it that way, of them actually having a long-term play with Lance Archer. And if that's the case, I am for it, man. I think that's great, because like I said, he came off the G1 that year and he was on fire. And I think soon as they signed to him to AEW, people thought that he was going to be the guy, like the big monster guy. And it just never quite ended up like that. And with him falling and him being able to rise back up, if they could tell this long-term story and keep him happy, I think this could really, really, really pay off for them in the long run, for sure. I didn't think about it like that. So that was great.
Do we know if Lance Archer can talk like by himself?
Yeah.
A good promo?
Yeah, he could cut a promo.
Okay, because I would even go a little cheeky with this, like a little 90s, 80s. What if Jake the Snake turned on Lance Archer and aligned himself with Miro? And said Lance Archer got weak. I thought he'd be out to be the murder hawk. You got weak.
But I don't know if he would do that though.
Yeah,
I know. Because I don't see the point of Jake being with Lance Archer if he's a good guy.
But I don't see the point of Lance Archer. Like, I like Jake the Snake with Lance, good or bad. He doesn't have to be a good guy. Like, all he has to do is just lean more towards beating up bad guys, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of the Austin thing. Austin wasn't a good guy. Hogan wasn't a good guy. And I'm talking about Hogan and Terry. They both were good guys. But like, they weren't baby faces, right? Like, they did, like, Hogan had Miss Elizabeth.
Hogan, you solidified Andre as a bad guy when you walked out to Piper's Pit with Bobby Heenan. It was over.
It was over, yeah.
You solidified by the manager. I just feel like Jake the Snake comes out to me as like the heel manager. He feels weird as a babyface's manager.
I feel like you don't. It doesn't need it. Like, he could be a badass.
Oh, it doesn't need it at all. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
happening though, because Miro's the greatest talker. He's okay.
Well, I think Miro is great at AEW talking.
Okay.
Like, it's
he went from thanking God to like, I want to kill everybody. That's
exactly. When I heard that promo, I was like, they're just letting him say whatever he wants. That's because that was how do I pose a bull person? They'd be like,
I hate this guy. He likes God too.
How was a bull person? They'd be like, I like to think. First of all, I like to think Jesus Christ is like, boo.
That's one way to one way to do that.
Like,
that's what I'm just saying. We'll see what happens. What's next on this?
Yeah. Okay. So
y'all going down a rabbit hole here.
right. We're moving out of the mid card and really going into the upper mid card, and we're getting the second annual Stadium Stampede, guys. Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. The first Stadium Stampede was the Inner Circle versus the Elite. It was incredible. It was like, AEW's really first pre-tape match, and it was the whole empty stadium at Jaguar Stadium. Now they're doing a part 2. I don't know how they're going to top this, but I have 2 questions, and one of you guys get each.
Oh,
Emily.
Oh gosh.
Do you think this will be the end of the Inner Circle?
I think it might be. Because I feel like they're at this point where it's like they've kind of done everything they could do at this point. So it's like, is there what I'm interested to see is like, is there gonna be some inner feuds, some like stabbing in the back, some things that like some inner moments that are gonna like cause a little friction within. They're putting everything on the line, at Double or Nothing. So it's like, so I could see that this, other people might want to go more into singles competition and kind of not be a part of this this faction anymore.
Justin, to you, is this a long con just to make? Is this a long con just to make Sami Zayn a babyface? I mean, Sammy Guevara a babyface.
I was like, what?
Aren't they the baby faces already?
Yeah, but we're talking, you know what I'm talking about, because he's the one that's being pushed out of this whole thing as like the babyface.
Maybe. I have so many weird concerns about this match just overall, though, in the sense of like, there's going to be fans there. How are they going to pull this off this time?
Well, as Jimmy said, the Stadium Stampede equaled the last cinematic match of the pandemic era. I think they did it at Blood and Guts, right? Like half of Blood and Guts before they got to the Blood and Guts and all the promos. That's why it was so weird. It was pre-taped. And they make the audience sit in front and watch the pre-tape.
Do you think it's going to be a cinematic match?
Oh, I
have to be. It's a
there's so many people.
I don't know how to top the first one because you're the characters of BTE. You don't have those here. We're not really, because a lot of that was built off what we've learned about Hangman Page and these people through BTE. Like, this is fresh. Not that these guys can't be funny and entertaining. I'm sure they can. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I find this very backwards. Wouldn't this have been great for Dynamite and had the Blood and Guts at this pay-per-view as a blow-off? Personally,
I think. Look, I mean,
I think time to change anything, but I'm just saying.
Right. I think this is a great way to blow it off. I think, like Jimmy said, it's a great send-off for hopefully a gone by era, right? Like no more cinematic matches for pay-per-view. So nobody.
I disagree though. Like I feel like there's a time and a place for cinematic matches. I feel like they can serve their purpose. But I get that like we are transitioning to fans. So there is this opportunity to do this live, but it also comes with its challenges with this many people and fans, and you haven't done it in a while.
That's the thing. It's with fans, right? It's like, would you want to sit in your seat for 25 minutes watching a screen with nothing going on in the ring? Like, that's why I said it's a bygone era, right? Because it's like you can't force that. I think we're slowly gonna see that move away. I don't think cinematic matches are gonna be gone completely. I think we're gonna get them on television. I mean, we got them on a Raw did it not too long ago, like in 2019, where the last segment was like a film segment, but it was like a normal Raw, and then I did crazy rate. Oh, it was the Randy Orton.
I was like, half of Randy and Alexa was like filmed.
No. It was Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt at the House of, was it the House of Horrors match? Yeah, and it did like crazy ratings. And it was like that was the last thing on Raw. And people are like, oh, they just threw it on and it hit like all this crazy rating. So I think if we get something like that, I sat through Owen Shamrock Dungeon Mat. It was rough. Yeah, guys.
Rest in peace, Owen Hart, though. It's been years. It's a day of when he passed away years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
go ahead, Justin.
No, I want you to finish your point because I have a question for you, Neeson.
No. I was gonna toss to you. So
do you think we get a break from Jericho after this?
Yes. So I do think we get a break from Jericho. And the reason why I think Emily said about teasing who's going to turn on who. I really think they're setting up Sammy Guevara for something big. He's the one that's having the Jericho-like promos when they're going back and forth. He's the one that's getting these spots. He was the first one in the Blood and Guts. He's the one that's being like, I'm gonna. He's all. And when MJF was in the inner circle, he was the one calling like, hey, no, this guy is this guy is this, and they're like, shut up. So I think something is brewing with them. Look, maybe that's just me talking and wanting that long-term storytelling continuity so they could go to a flashback and the package is all amazing. They're like, oh, the little nuance things, but maybe not. Like maybe it's just they're broken up and then they all go their separate ways and then we get LAX as tag team champions.
I do think LAX goes his own way. I want Hager to stay as Jericho's heavy though. Like I want that to stay the same. So what are you gonna do with him? What are you gonna do with him?
Hager? Yeah,
what do you do with him unless he's Jericho's big guy? I don't
know.
But you're right. I do see a Jericho Sammy feud down the road, and there's a way to get there for sure.
Let's see. Ken says more than likely it will be the end of the inner circle. Just not sure who's turning on Jericho to cost the match. Maybe Santana. That's what I'm saying. I think if it's somebody that turns, let's just go round table. If it's somebody that turns, who do you think is going to turn?
I don't want Sammy to go heel against probably Santana. But maybe Sammy because you need Sammy Jericho. You can go that route.
Sammy Jericho. Sammy Jericho would be a nice summer feud.
Yeah. What's the next pay-per-view? I don't even know. Double Nothing, All Out. That's the one.
All Out. No, August. Yeah, August. All Out.
Is it August?
Yeah. Then it goes Full Gear, and then it goes Revolution, then it goes Double Nothing.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's All Out. Yeah. So yeah. Whew. And they have the new Rampage on Friday nights. So
so that's Sammy like a whole other opportunity for like a whole opportunity for people to go and shine. And I'm sure there's going to be new belts and new titles integrated and titles. Yeah. What did I say?
And you said belts, and I was like, I was just doing my Vince McMahon title.
Okay.
So don't worry about it.
I was like, I don't know.
All right, so look, now let's get to let's talk about the belts, the tag team belts. We have the Young Bucks versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Now, I just want to say this: the Acclaim. I don't know the guy's name that comes out and raps, but he had probably in 2 weeks in a row, he had two of the best freestyles coming out and talking about Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley and speak about Jon Moxley's wife. Said he was calling, trying to get oral sessions. That was a line. That was a bar. So is there any chance, Justin, that the Young Bucks drop the titles to Eddie Kingston and Jon, the book author, Moxley?
Yeah, and I want them to. I need them to. I love the Young Bucks. I love what they're doing. They're playing who the Young Bucks were in the independents, and everybody hated them, breaking all the rules, doing everything that everybody hated, just being arrogant and cocky. That Jim has a point about the turning thing, but I think this whole Kingston Moxley tandem has been fun. I like them together. What are you gonna do with Jon Moxley and Kingston if they don't win? I think you give them the tag belts and you let them start working with some of these other tag teams. Let them work against Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Let them work against Santana and Ortiz. I'd rather see, because I feel this is the one issue I've had with the Young Bucks holding those tag belts. Yes, they've worked with the Varsity Blondes and they had tag matches against Santana and Ortiz too, but their storyline doesn't really require them having the belts. What they're doing with Kenny and the club and all that doesn't really require them having the belts. They can be the arrogant, over-conceited we're the best at this tag team without those belts. They really can. And I just feel like they're holding the tag division hostage. There's so many. There's one division in AEW that is so well put together and stacked. It is their tag division. And the belts are just like, there's FTR, there's Santana and Ortiz, there's the Butcher and the Blade, there's the Acclaim, there's Ethan Page and what's his name, Scorpio Sky, there's the Varsity Blondes. Like the tag team division stacked. Let those tag titles free. Let people actually fight for them. Because otherwise, it's just like if the Bucks face it, when you know they're not going to lose them. There's like no chance they're going to lose them. But if they're going to lose them to John Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and then somewhere down the road, those guys get screwed out of those titles, losing it to an actual tag team on the roster, we can move forward with these tag teams feuding with each other without the belts, you know?
Wow. So, Emily, to follow up that,
yeah.
Do you think if they lose the titles, would the Young Bucks still be considered the elite? Like, can they hold the stature of the elite, the top guys, the bold, the brash, old Bucks being new without those belts?
Yeah, I mean, they're the top of the top, and I feel like with their attitude, I feel like they're with or without the titles, they're gonna be the top of the top. So, like, I think to your point, you know, I think it might shake up the tag team division if you turn over these titles and you have a whole other new tag team kind of go through that roster, and then it makes things challenging again, and you build different rivalries and you build different storylines, and it could be really, really exciting. And then it gives the Young Bucks kind of something else to think about, is like, what is their next step? And they, you know, yes, they've been challenged, but have they really, really been challenged? And this might kind of shake their, you know, foundation a little bit, and maybe they can't be as cocky.
Hall and Nash never needed the tag titles when they're in the NWO. They never did.
Hall and Nash weren't a tag. Like, they were a tag team, the Outsiders, but they weren't a tag team like in the WWF. Like they weren't.
Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows still tag team champions for Impact?
Well, that was stupid. We could talk about Impact and AEW's relationship and what Impact has done. It is mind-boggling to me, because they still should be tag team champions. At least they're having the titles on TNT and on whatever channel Impact goes on. But you know, I don't understand the creative decisions that's going on in Impact sometimes. I don't get it.
It definitely, like, I know we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but it's definitely been interesting to see kind of this crossover brand promotion, having kind of these crossover talent moments. And some people like what's happening, and other people are kind of like still trying to get into it. So.
One side likes what's happening. The other side, I don't know if they really can.
One person.
One person.
Oh man. Well, so fine. So are we saying that the Bucks should lose, but they're going to win?
Basically.
You know, my gut is telling me that they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Even
same.
though I think Moxley, should have it.
It would be nice if Moxley and Kingston won, and then, you know, FTR got those belts back, and the Pinnacle gets that little bit of a push, you know?
Whew, that'd be great. Honestly, I would love to see Moxley and Kingston versus FTR. That sounds like an amazing match. But we have to move on to a match with one DMD finally taking on Hikaru Shida for the women's championship match. Guys,
The doctor is in the house.
Do I even have to ask, who do you guys want to win this match?
No,
You beat off Shida yesterday. Like,
you know who my answer is going to be. Britt Baker all the way. Britt Baker. Britt Baker all the way.
It's only Britt Baker. That's the only answer.
There's no other. Yeah, there's no other outcome that I can see. Like, that's it. She is going to be the new face of the women's division.
Long overdue. Needs to be on after them.
She's been the face of the women's of division,
but officially with the championship.
Officially. And and Justin, I want to ask you. So, she's been chasing this championship since she's been there, and she's been throwing wrenches, and I don't understand how she's still a bad guy, I guess because she's been beating up good guys, but to me, I feel like everybody's rooting for her, and no disrespect to our current champion, because she's been the champion through a whole pandemic, and she's more than a year, and she's been doing her thing. But I would ask you this: where does the champion go after she loses her title?
That's so.
I don't care.
Oh, wow!
Oh, great! She's been a great champion. Congratulations! I don't remember a single Shida pay-per-view match. I don't. She has not clicked with me. She's not been good. The fact that Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker's lights out match wasn't for the women's title is a shame. Okay,
it didn't count. It didn't count towards the record.
What does it count for anything though? It meant nothing. Now it happened. It was great, but it meant nothing. Oh, Britt and Thunder Rosa had this great feud that ended with a. But what does it mean after that? There was no continuity. Britt wins this belt. Thunder Rosa comes back in the picture. Please, let's get back to that. Let's wrap this up with that belt on the line now.
So that's what I was gonna say. This is what's gonna happen.
Go wrestle on Elevation and Dark and get her rankings back up, and eventually get a title shot again when they sell us on her. That's the only problem I have with her. And I've said it a bazillion times. I'm gonna say it one last time. The difference with AEW and the difference with WWE, major difference when it comes to the women's wrestling. When the WWE brings in these women from all around the world, whether from Australia, England, Japan, anywhere, whenever they bring these women in from overseas and they bring them here, they get us accustomed with them on NXT. They build them up slowly to the point when Io Shirai or Asuka finally won that belt, we were on board with this character. We've had to build some sort of connection and investment to them. When they put the belt on Riho, had no idea who the hell she was. When they put the belt on Shida, had no idea who the hell she was. They did no video packages that made me pumped up for who Shida is. I had no idea why she was so special. Is she? Not was she. Is she a good wrestler? Without a doubt. She's a great wrestler. I'm a character storyline guy. I don't care if someone's holding the belt because they're a great wrestler. Being a great wrestler is not a character. There's no reason for me to be invested in you because you're a great wrestler. I'm sure Barry Horowitz was a great wrestler. But it didn't mean I was invested in the Barry Horowitz character and I want him to be my world champion. Take Shida after this and build her. Let us get connected to her. Tell us who she is. Tell us a story with her. Let her have a road to redemption or something. That's it, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Wow, dropping the mic. You think?
Tell us how you really feel, Justin.
Yeah, you feeling okay? So this is what I think is going to go down. I think Britt Baker is going to win the AEW Women's Championship. And there's going to be this huge, I don't know, maybe Thunder Rosa will show up. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be some challenge and there's going to be this huge storyline that's going to happen. And like, it is time. This is like Britt Baker's third time going after this championship. And so third time's the charm. Mm-hmm. And this is what's going to happen. And, there is an incredible women's roster, and she's proven that she can be the number one. So she's proven it time and time again.
She's been the face of the women's division. And to Justin's point, it's about character and connection. She's a dentist. She's there to rip your teeth out. And she's there to come out.
She's the greatest.
I like my teeth. I'm gonna keep them.
She thinks she's the greatest. There's a character there. But I would love Britt holding that belt for an entire goddamn year, cheating every victory she gets, and acting like she won it by herself, and like she never cheated. Like that's something that can happen.
That'll be great. And I just want to say, because we got in the chat, Red Velvet, Jade Cargill is the long play, and Jade I'm really a fan of Jade. I think she really has a presence. She could definitely talk. She doesn't need a manager. I know she's going through this whole thing where she like has a manager, but yeah, because she's big and buff and like has a presence, that doesn't mean she needs to be a manager. She doesn't need a Paul Heyman.
Yeah, it's a very weird angle.
Yeah, it does. She doesn't need that. But I do, man. I love what they're doing with her and how they're building her. But guys, it's main event time. It's what we're all tuning in to see. We're seeing the Collector, Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, in a triple threat match. Well, I can't say triple threat match because that's WWE. In a triangle match versus Pac and Orange Cassidy.
What, can you really not say triple threat? Is that a thing?
Well, they can't say triple threat.
Oh, no way.
It's
I didn't know that.
They don't call it. They
Really?
call it a 3-way match. Yeah, they call it a 3-way
Oh.
match. Yeah,
Huh.
they just call it a 3-way. So
I never thought of triple threat as like a WWE thing. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
Florida
learn something new every day. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, they can't say fatal like all that like fatal 4-way and triple threats. All that is WWE.
I had no idea that was like a thing like that. But other than that, Kenny's winning. I don't know how else to say. It's gonna be a good match.
Yeah, you're like, let's move on. You're like, Kenny's winning.
Kenny's
It's all
winning. Like,
good.
what else can you say? Listen, I'm the biggest Pac fan. I love Pac. Like, I wish Pac was the FTW champion now or the TNT champion. Like, I would want Pac to be holding all the belts in the mid card right now, and one day to be an AEW world champion for sure in the future. Kenny has to win. He's gonna go face Andrade. Like, you need him to be a champ. You need him to carry this company right now. If you want that group to be the top faction, then Kenny needs to keep that belt if the Bucks and everybody else loses their belts, right? Like, Kenny wins. Yeah, I'm glad Orange is in this. I feel like it's kind of weird how they put him in this because ever since the Jericho feud, Orange Cassidy hasn't technically been that Orange Cassidy, but okay, we're here now. Let's do it. Having Pac in there is a little bit better because I did feel like they were just going to give us Omega versus Orange Cassidy, which I'm like, I'm sorry, with the way Orange Cassidy's been booked the past 4 or 5 months, that's not a main event. That's a solid match. That could be somewhere on the card, but that's definitely not the main event. Like, that's probably a match that could be on the card because the Stadium Stampede's going to be the main event or something. Like, you know. But
so is this match then main event for?
I don't know.
Yes.
Stampede might actually go last.
So this is the last, of course. So it's the last match. It's the main event match, and I just want to ask you, Emily, are you invested in this match at all?
I'm more invested in the AEW Women's Championship match. Not gonna lie. I just feel like the 3-way match or triangle match, whatever you want to call it. I feel like they're trying to like piece things together, and so like I'm not sure if I'm on board with Kenny Omega yet. With this title, and I know that's controversial. Y'all are going to be mad at me. But
not me.
I'm
not on board with it.
This is my face a lot, by the way, guys.
I know. Look at that face.
I'm not on board with it, but I'm
like I'm questioning it. Like I'm more inquisitive and questioning the motives behind it and how it's all going to unfold. And so, not that I'm like not going to like watch it and be engaged. I'm ready for that.
I still think it needs to be Hangman that takes the belt off him personally, but I don't even know how they've been booking Hangman right now, so it's weird.
They're definite. Look, it's gonna be weird, and I know we talked about this in past episodes on that wrestling show about Kenny is the collector, and what's the chain gonna be of him losing these titles? Is it gonna be Andrade in August? Is it gonna be who's gonna take the title off from the Impact title? And then you have the AEW title as well. What's gonna happen with that? Will Hangman? We all thought the big money match is Hangman versus Kenny, but you know they're clearly buying time with Hangman by having Brian Cage face Hangman Page right now, right? Like this is a buying time thing. So, Justin,
no, go ahead, finish first though.
No, you just
wait. Do we forget that it's Sting and Darby versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky?
I didn't see that on the card. So yeah,
there is that match. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is
first in-ring match. Because the last ring match was in this whole cinematic match, but he's gonna wrestle.
I probably forgot it on purpose because it's something that I don't care to watch or see. I'm gonna be honest, man. I love
Scorpio Sky though.
That's what I was about to say. I love Scorpio Sky. I loved him before.
Yeah, I watched him on the indie circuit. Like I've watched him from the beginning. So yeah.
I thought he was the guy that was gonna be their homegrown next level being pushed to the main event AEW guy. Especially when he lost one of his shoes and the crowd went crazy and he jumped Jericho and he had the match with Jericho. And we were like, oh my God, he finally hit his peak. He was cutting awesome promos and then he just fell off. And then now he's with Ethan Page. Granted, he is cutting awesome promos and he's doing, he's holding his own, but it's like, I don't care to see you versus Sting and Darby Allin. And I don't know if it's because of what you said earlier, Justin, to your points about Darby Allin just having these whatever matches. and not really sinking his teeth into it, or like Miro said, just go make another indie film, indie student film at home. It just didn't click. It really didn't. Like that run of Darby didn't click, so this isn't clicking with me. And everybody knows I've been screaming about this. I don't want to see Sting wrestle, guys. Sting almost died in the ring. Yeah, you could have gave me. Yeah, every time he takes a bump, I'm closing my eyes because I'm scared that it's gonna be his last bump for life. So I don't want to see him go against Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. They just threw somebody down some concrete stairs.
Yeah,
it was committed murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
You don't go down concrete stairs. And I feel like at this, like, you never know what can happen. Like, what else can they find to throw Sting down the, like, who knows?
All they got to do is trip him. He's 62. He's like 62, right? 62.
No, I don't.
62.
Just give him the match with Cody and let him retire on his terms.
It means Darby Allin's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, or he's just going to be heavily lifted.
Sting comes in there for the hot tag. I don't know. Does a couple stinger splashes, a couple punches and drops.
Do you think? Oh my god! Do you think Sting? Like, I don't even want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, man. I'm just sitting here.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
I'm not.
That guy.
I'm not.
I told you I really felt about Shida.
No, I don't want to be that guy because I feel like Sting. I just want to see Sting happy, sitting somewhere. Playing with his grandkids, like I get it.
Darby's not his unbiological son or something. Illegitimate son. That's the word. Illegitimate.
Okay, this Kurt Angle storyline, whatever it may be.
Illegitimate. I want to hold
unbiological son.
That doesn't even work. Well, technically, he is an unbiological son because there's no way he can really be father and son, but he treats him like his son,
father and grandson. Look, I'm glad. This is why we skipped over it because it's really nothing to say. So before we get out of here, I know we only got a couple minutes left, and guys, I'm gonna just let you in a peek behind the curtain. I accidentally ate avocados, and I'm definitely allergic to them.
Oh no!
So my eyes are red and puffy. And it's been itchy, but I've been powering through this, guys.
Tough living in California and allergic to avocado.
Did you know?
No, it's fine. I just, I knew it.
Did you know?
And I asked. Long story short, I got some sushi. I told them no avocado 3,000 times. They handed it to me, said it wasn't any avocado in it. My dumbass just reached and grabbed a piece and just ate it without quadruple checking. And I looked at it. I'm like,
some green stuff in there. Oh no! Well, go take some allergy medicine.
Yeah. It's just a lot of. But before we get out of here, I definitely want to talk about SmackDown and just some highlights. We don't have to go through NXT and Raw because honestly, okay, Kofi won. Kofi beat Bobby Lashley.
We'll see what happens next week. See how they fall.
Yeah, we'll see what happens exactly. But one thing to note, and I want to know if you guys caught this. Paul Heyman got the Shield theme music when he came out on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we were getting rid of that music for good.
I thought so too. Look, I'd rather have that music back than this music, but I know the music needs to change. So I'm gonna ask you, Emily, have you heard the new Roman Reigns theme music, and what are your thoughts?
I have like mixed feelings about it. I don't know. I mean, I kind of liked his old music. Like, why do we feel like he needs new stuff?
I think it needs to be disassociated from the Shield. So I definitely think he needed new music for this new period and career part of his career. I feel like I want to say it's growing on me, but it's also that same thing of like, I'm settling with it. Like I'm settling. I'm settling with the fact that it is what it is. And I'm okay with it because I don't love it. I definitely don't love it.
Because like I need music that's going to get me like so excited for this person to come out and compete. Right. And I feel like we're not quite there with the new stuff. Like, because you're so used to the old stuff and then you just have to like change your whole mindset. Because I feel like you're kind of in the middle about it, right? You're kind of like lackluster.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. So I'm saying
there's been worse.
No.
So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's not like it works for him. It's good, but it's not great. I don't know. I knew they had to get rid of the Shield music though. I've been saying that.
I mean that makes sense.
Like he's the only one that kept anything that was related to the Shield. Seth has moved on like 30 times to 4 or 5 different characters. Moxley was Ambrose, and now it's Moxley doing his own thing, wild thing in AEW. Roman was still rocking the Shield music, Shield vest. Like he finally has been breaking away from these things.
Well, and that's important because he's establishing his like different storylines, different feuds, things like that.
Establishing that there's growth to the Roman Reigns.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's been doing so well. Yeah.
I don't know with the music.
And since we're talking about growth in Roman Reigns, guys, you know Roman Reigns is the guy, and he's on top because, God damn it, he has a tracksuit now.
Yeah, can I have a tracksuit?
He has tracksuit Roman. We only know people that are at the top of the card that get tracksuits.
I have that one. I have that whole tracksuit.
I'm just saying.
Why? I don't know.
And The Rock also. I had a picture, just wasn't low, but The Rock also had some of his best times in that tracksuit. So, guys, if it's not clear enough, Roman Reigns is the head of the table, the tribal chief, and we need to acknowledge him. And also, we got Rick on our television. I know he's been the Panther, and he was also killing it in NXT for a short period of time back when it had fans. And now he is on Smackdown playing out with the King Nakamura. And if I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
I'm down for it.
I like it. I like
bring it on.
Nakamura out. I'm with it. I like it.
Yeah. Bring it. I want more guitar.
More guitar. Seth Drippin' Rollins, guys. So he talked about his suits on the bump, and I just want to say I really want every single suit he wore. I don't think we have a picture of the one with the drip all over that he wore last week, but I definitely want he's hitting on other levels, and I just can't wait till it forms into into a ground. Right now it's not grounded. Right now it's very, very chaotic, and I think we're getting to the grounded with him and Cesaro at Hell in a Cell when they carted out Cesaro after he curb stomped him twice on the ramp, and he stopped on the car. Why he was in the back, he was calm, he was talking to Kayla, and he breaks it, and he goes and shakes him. He's like, "Why are you doing this to me? Why?" And this is why you get this face.
Yes.
He's screaming.
Okay, I have to say, I am planning my Halloween costume based off of all of his suits.
It's just going to be an amalgamation of Seth
It's going to be an amalgamation of all of it.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on there.
It's a lot, I know.
It's an arm, each piece is like a different
patches.
suit. Yeah.
Little patches.
Who are you? I'm Seth Rollins.
It's going to be legit. Patchy.
I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I'm happy. I'm happy that Seth and Cesaro are still going on. I'm glad Cesaro got the title shot. We knew the belt wasn't coming out of Roman yet. I love the suits, man, and I really did enjoy the one from the pay-per-view where he had the paint splatter on it. That was dope. But that's the thing about SmackDown. They make you want to tune in every week because everything's slowly building and we're seeing where it goes. And I just personally, highlight for me is Aleister Black's back. Please use him to his fullest potential. Don't botch this. You have him against Big E. Dope. If Big E wasn't going to win the IC title back, we need to do something prominent with Big E. This is great. Don't ruin Aleister Black, please. There's so much potential. And I see it on my page. People don't get what Aleister Black is. Like, oh, that jobber, oh, he sucks. What's so great about him? That means you never watched NXT. That means you never watched Tommy End and the Indies.
Yeah, you never watched Tommy End.
You don't know what this guy can do, and because they never let him do it on the main roster. There was glimpses of it, but we never saw it. The man sat in a dark room for 90% of the time, and then he started helping Rey Mysterio and his kid fight Seth and his crew. There was never
and
proper
NXT,
Aleister Black thing.
In NXT, he really shined, and I feel like he's you have to if you're not familiar with him, you got to go back and watch his old stuff because that's how you're finding the of is where he could go.
Yeah, I think it's a thing where we say they really shine at NXT because NXT doesn't need a over the top character to be able to connect with an audience. It's a different type of wrestling, right? It's the same audience that AEW has. We just care, like, you can have a little bit of a character and then your in-ring work could be fantastic and we're like, yes. And then at WWE, Raw and SmackDown, you have to have this larger than life character because you're appealing to 4-year-olds to 50-year-olds, right? And it has to be able to mix with that. And then your in-ring work, it could just be okay, but as long as the character and the stories are being built. And I think with Big E, first of all, that fatal 4-way match was incredible. Apollo still retaining. I thought that was the right move. I was trying to figure out how they were going to get around that, but bringing back Aleister Black, I think this saves time and really allows Aleister and Big E, like, allow Aleister to beat Big E in a feud and Big E comes out with that Money in a Bank championship. Like, that's what you do. Because then now, like, you could, you don't know when he's going to cash in. Every time somebody cashes in, when they're not saying, oh, I'm going to cash in next week, they're always losing, right? They're always in this lose. So you forget about it. And next thing you know, boom, the cash in happens. And I think Big E and allow Aleister Black to get his feet back wet, to really build him and whatever this new character is. If he's a Targaryen with dragons behind him, whatever it may be, allow that to really form with Big E. And then let, Aleister Black go off somewhere and beat Drew McIntyre or something like that. Like,
yeah, I definitely think there needs to be some sort of shakeup prior to, like,
yeah, man. We didn't get a brand shakeup. Like, we after Mania usually get the draft in the fall and a brand shakeup.
I was gonna say this with the big announcements of fans returning in July and all of that. There should be a shakeup before that because that gives them an excuse. Like, well, fans are coming back, but before that, we're gonna shake things up because we need a little bit of that.
You know what?
Well, that's why they're building all of these all these heels because we're gonna get a live audience soon. And they're like the best when it comes to that. So they're focusing on these really strong characters, making sure that they have these alignments and these feuds ready to go, so that when the audience comes back, it's like we're ready. There's no
more manipulating the system. Vince can't just have who he wants cheered, and who he wants booed. Real people are going to be back, and they're going to boo and cheer whoever they want.
And the audience decides who they like and who they don't, and that's what
these Roman stances that they've been playing in. Will that actually happen? Will we actually?
Yes. Roman got booed out the WrestleMania building, guys, but they put him on the screen.
But you're also having him up against Edge and Bryan, who are like the most lovable people on that roster.
They booed the hell out of him. So the last question before we get out of here. I saw WWE on Fox post this, and I really want to know from you guys. And it just came to my mind. So sorry I didn't toss it to you earlier. Which superstar wrestler is the MVP of the Thunderdome? And I will go with you, Justin, first.
I'm gonna pick one male and one female. Okay,
Let's do it.
For me, male, and there's a lot of options. So we actually talked about this on the TWC show this week too, but we gave all the options of who you could pick. But for me personally, I think that the top male would have to be Randy Orton, just the way he held it down for Raw from the Edge feud all the way through the Fiend feud to now he's an RK-Bro. But there were weeks of Raw where the most interesting thing on there, no disrespect to Drew McIntyre and the Hurt Business and these other people that held down Raw, but whatever Orton was doing was like, I wonder what Orton's gonna do. At least Orton's coming on a bit. So Orton. For women, I have to go with Sasha Banks. And I'm just saying, and if I'm going to be real honest, I have to go with Sasha Banks and Bayley as a tandem because those two.
Boss, the blueprint, the standard, the GOAT, the queen of the sale, the draw, the DDT and Boba Fett Mandalorian, Sasha Banks.
Those two held it down all last summer. They held it down from this whole pandemic. At one point, they held all the belts in the women's division. Let's not forget in 2020, Sasha Banks held the Raw Women's title, the SmackDown Women's title, and the tag team titles. She held them all in one calendar year. And if WrestleMania was the last the payoff to the pandemic era, Sasha and Bianca stole this show. She put someone over at the end of it all, and she took a little time off. Sasha Banks was the top woman this pandemic. And I know there's other shining women during this period. Obviously, everything Alexa did was like really cool, and Asuka held her own and had great, like a lot of the cool stuff that Sasha and Bayley did was with Asuka and Kairi Sane. So you got to give them credit too. But like for me, it was Sasha and Bayley from everything they did together to Hell in the Cell to, you know, Sasha working with Carmella and making Carmella look really good for a bit to the Bianca situation. It's Sasha Banks. Those are my two answers: Randy Orton and Sasha Banks. I know there's so many other answers, but that's what
I feel like that's such a good answer. I don't know if I could say anything different.
There are a lot of other answers. Trust me, there is. We talked about
it's so hard to decide because it's like everyone did things. It was such a weird time, and everyone did the best they could do in the moment. And like some of them, like all of them shined really, really well. So like, I don't know if I could put anyone in a box, but I do agree that Sasha really was kind of incredible. And like even though she lost the title at WrestleMania, it shows that like, that shows her journey and shows that she is a professional because she has the ability to put someone over that well. And that takes courage and like athleticism and talent to do that really, really well. So I would agree with that one.
Okay, we got other people MVPs. Our MVPs. We got Drew McIntyre, Asuka, Street Profits, Bayley.
Bayley was really great. Alexa Bliss was fantastic with the whole Fiend alliance and building that. Like to think that she went from that she transitioned to that type of character and succeeded at like scaring the crap out of people and really just like having this creepy presence was kind of fantastic. And that the fact that it went over so well during a time where there's no fans in the audience shows that like she did some character work and she put the work in.
And then a lot of people say the Hurt Business as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, we have Lashley and MVP are the MVPs. You know, Hurt Business. Look, there is no wrong answer for sure. I think a lot of people, as we move out of the Thunderdome era in July, I think we're gonna see a lot of these characters that were built during the Thunderdome era. They're gonna be tested. You know, are fans really connected to them or not? But one thing for sure, the people that we named, Street Profits, they thrive off of fans. Bayley, Asuka, Drew McIntyre. We forget Drew McIntyre was at the hottest he's ever been right when we had to shut down. He had the whole 3, 2, 1 countdown before the Claymore, which was really, really an amazing thing. Also, to me, it was Bayley, and I love Sasha, and I think Sasha as well. But Bayley, we've seen her character from the whole pandemic go from a more quiet, stoic heel to this loud, obnoxious talking and like backing it up 300 and something days, and she's just going off and like
I love the angry,
hello.
The angry Bayley, like she's like manifesting some things inside of her and like putting it out there, and the fact that like it comes off so well on screen, and I can't wait for an audience to come back so that it's gonna elevate that character and that just so much, and I can't wait because like you feed off of that. Yeah, like you guys know, like you feed off that energy, and like it's gonna be awesome.
She's about to get booed out the building, but before we get booed out the building, guys, thank you for joining us on that wrestling show, and please, drop what are you guys doing? Your plugs, your tags, your handles. I mean, they're right there, but give us a line. What's going on, man? Let's start with you, Miss Emily.
So thanks, you guys. I have to thank you again for having me. This was so much fun. You can follow me on all social platforms at Emily May Heller. Follow Women's Wrestling Talk. It is our women's podcast. We have new episodes that come out every Tuesday. And also I have a show called Pro Wrestling Pets where I interview wrestlers and I highlight all of their pets. So it's a madhouse show that sometimes pets go crazy on and go wild. So you don't want to miss that. And then catch new episodes of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Arizona. And we have Memphis and we have Atlanta coming under the United Wrestling Network umbrella of shows. So we have lots of fun stuff coming. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all over so you can keep track of everything I'm doing.
That's awesome. And I've told you before we started, I definitely have to watch that Pro Wrestlers with Pets show. It's fantastic. It sounds amazing. It sounds fantastic.
That's really intriguing. It really is.
Justin.
It'll just make you smile.
Yeah.
Justin, the Wrestling Classic, man. What are the thousands of things you have on your plate?
So,
What you got going,
follow
man?
me at the Wrestling Classic. Obviously, if you guys aren't already, hit the link in my bio. You can find the links to everything else. Guys, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Wrestling Classic. Subscribe to the TWC Show podcast, which is our weekly show that we talk about wrestling and everything that happened on wrestling. Neeson's been on there a handful of times. Might even be back on there this week. I don't know. We've been mixing it up. We're getting close to episode 100. Make sure you guys check out the Casual Conversations under the TWC Show stream, but they're also on my YouTube channel. I recently interviewed Danielle Monet, aka Summer Rae, and Jimmy Jacobs. We got Steve Cardillo coming out soon, a couple of other big ones. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and TWC Show. You get to hear the conversations plus the weekly show. And then, my articles are 1:37 p.m. when I write those for 137pm.com, my wrestling articles. But other than that, guys, just follow me at the Wrestling Classic. It's the hub for everything on Instagram. You'll know everything I'm doing. And please support. I appreciate all the support already. And make sure you guys follow THS.wrestling because that's where you guys are getting the news and stuff. And I've been helping out with their social media and whatnot. These guys have been doing a really good job doing these 30-second or less videos after Raw, SmackDown, NXT and NXT UK, and Dynamite. And all. I guess Raw, not really, because everyone's kind of having a hard time watching that. But for SmackDown and NXT and NXT UK and AEW Dynamite, 30 seconds or less on THS.wrestling on Instagram. Go check them out. You guys are, they're pretty funny with these 30 seconds or less. They got their little slick jokes that they slide in there, and I'm like, that was clever. That was witty. I dig it.
Yeah. Shout out UCB. Guys, look, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. If you're still watching this, you know where you can find me right there for all the things that I do. And you can follow everybody else right there for all the things that we do. But you can find us every Sunday here at 7 p.m. Pacific time, That Wrestling Show. Shout out to Pingle. I am never taking your job ever again. So that means you could never go out of town ever again. You got that, Pingle? Shout out to Jimmy over there at Epcot, enjoying his drinking around the world with wrestlers. We miss you, man, and get back safely and COVID free. All right, guys, go have fun. Go enjoy your nights. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you next Sunday. Enjoy your wrestling. And I'm looking for a bumper that I'll send it out.
What's up, guys? Mandy Rose here, and you're watching